I never believed in ghosts, not until midnight came into my life. It was a cold, rainy night when I found him, a black cat sitting on my doorstep, his fur completely dry despite the pouring rain. His yellow eyes glowed in the darkness, unblinking, watching me. He didn't meow, didn't shiver, he just waited. I hesitated for a moment, but something about him felt strange. Still, I couldn't leave him out there. I opened the door, and without a sound, he walked inside. That was my first mistake. From the very first night, strange things started happening. Midnight would sit in the hallway, staring at the wall for hours, his ears twitching as if he could hear something I couldn't. Sometimes, I'd catch him watching the ceiling, his tail flicking back and forth. At night, I started hearing noises, scratching sounds under my bed, light footsteps in the hallway. At first, I thought it was just Midnight exploring his new home, but then the whispers began. The first time, I was half asleep when I heard it. A soft voice, barely above a breath. Oliver, my eyes snapped open. My room was dark, but something felt wrong. My skin prickled. My heart raced. I turned on my bedside lamp, scanning the room. Nothing. Just Midnight, perched at the foot of my bed, staring at me. His tail flicked once, and his ears twitched, as if he had heard it too. The next night was worse. I woke up to the sound of my bedroom door creaking open. My heart pounded as I turned my head slowly. The hallway outside was pitch black, but I swore I saw something move in the shadows. Midnight was sitting up now, eyes wide, his gaze locked on the open doorway. I held my breath listening. Then faintly I heard it again. "Oliver, let me in." A chill ran down my spine. I scrambled out of bed and slammed the door shut, locking it. Midnight let out a low growl, something I had never heard him do before. I spent the rest of the night sitting up in bed, staring at the door, listening to the sound of soft, slow scratching against the wood. Days passed and the presence in my house grew stronger. Shadows seemed to move when I wasn't looking. My reflection in the mirror felt off, like my eyes belonged to someone else. The whispers grew louder, no longer just at night. I'd hear them behind me while brushing my teeth, in the kitchen when I was making coffee. Midnight followed me everywhere, always watching, always listening. Then one night, I woke up unable to move. My chest felt heavy, like something was sitting on me. The air was ice cold. My breath came out in short, panicked gasps. And then I felt it, a hand freezing cold, pressing against my cheek. My eyes darted around the room, but I couldn't move. Couldn't scream. A soft purring filled the silence. Midnight. His glowing eyes stared at something above me. Then, he let out a deep, guttural hiss. The weight on my chest suddenly lifted and I gasped for air, jerking upright. The room was warm again. Midnight was still there, his back arched, his fur standing on end, staring at the far corner of the room. My breath hitched as I followed his gaze. The darkness was deeper there. Wrong. And for a split second, I saw it. A figure. Thin. Pale. With hollow eyes that bore into mine. Then it melted into the shadows. I scrambled for the light, heart pounding. Midnight slowly relaxed, his body unwinding, but his eyes never left the corner. I don't know what Midnight brought into my house that night, but I do know this. He didn't come to harm me. He came to warn me. Now every night, Midnight sleeps by my door, watching, waiting. I don't hear the whispers anymore. But sometimes, in the middle of the night, I wake up to the sound of soft scratching against the walls. And I know, deep down, that whatever Midnight chased away isn't gone. It's just waiting.